OutDaughtered, star Danielle Busby was flat out afraid when she learned she was having Quints. Danielle Busby's life has always been full of surprises, but nothing could have prepared her for the news that would change everything in an instant. She and her husband, Adam Busby, had always dreamed of building a family, and after welcoming their first child, life seemed to be following a path that was both exciting and manageable. Yet, when Danielle found out she was expecting again, she had no idea just how extraordinary this pregnancy would be. The moment a doctor revealed that Danielle was carrying not one, not two, but 5 babies, it was as if the world had stopped spinning. Danielle herself admits that she was flat out afraid when she learned she was having quintuplets. The sheer magnitude of the news was overwhelming, and for a mother who had already experienced the joys and challenges of parenting, this revelation felt almost unimaginable. Questions flooded her mind. How would they manage the logistics of 5 babies at once? How could they ensure that each child received the love and attention they deserved? And, perhaps most daunting of all, how would her body handle the strain of carrying 5 babies at once? Danielle's fear was not just a fleeting emotion, it was a deep, visceral reaction to an almost incomprehensible reality. She had to grapple with her own worries while trying to maintain a sense of calm for Adam, who was equally stunned by the news. The couple had always been partners in every sense, supporting each other through challenges and triumphs, but this was a challenge unlike any other they had faced. The Busbys knew that the journey ahead would demand resilience, patience, and a sense of humor, but in that moment, the weight of the announcement felt almost unbearable. Reflecting on the early days after learning about the quintuplets, Danielle recalls the mix of excitement and dread that consumed her. She remembers lying awake at night, thinking about the future with 5 tiny humans depending on her every decision. There was a constant mental checklist: nursery arrangements, medical appointments, nutrition, and the physical demands of carrying multiples. It wasn't just about preparing for a baby. It was about preparing for a life that would be exponentially more complex than anything she had experienced before. Despite the fear, Danielle's natural optimism began to shine through. She found herself imagining what life with quintuplets could be like: the laughter, the milestones, the family dinners that would inevitably turn chaotic. She visualized the bond the children would share, knowing that siblings who grow up so closely together develop connections that are rare and profound. These thoughts, though fleeting in moments of fear, provided a glimmer of hope and excitement that helped her navigate the uncertainty. The Busbys were not strangers to parenting challenges. By the time Danielle learned she was carrying Quints, they had already developed a parenting rhythm that worked for their family. They knew how to manage schedules, divide responsibilities, and support one another through sleepless nights. Yet, Danielle acknowledges that the scale of this pregnancy made even their most well-honed strategies seem inadequate. The stakes were higher, the risks more significant, and the potential for overwhelm greater than ever before. Medical professionals immediately became an essential part of Danielle's life. Carrying quintuplets is an incredibly high-risk pregnancy, and the couple had to quickly familiarize themselves with a level of medical care that went far beyond routine prenatal appointments. Specialists in maternal-fetal medicine became key advisors, guiding Danielle through each stage of the pregnancy with meticulous attention to detail. Ultrasounds were frequent, and monitoring became a regular part of her life, reminding her constantly of the fragility and miracle of the babies growing inside her. Danielle has often spoken about the emotional roller coaster of this time. Fear was an unavoidable companion, but so too was joy. Each ultrasound brought reassurance that the babies were developing well, even as it reinforced the reality of the immense responsibility awaiting her and Adam. There were moments when she felt on top of the world, marveling at the tiny beings forming in her womb, and other moments when anxiety threatened to take over completely. The oscillation between these extremes was exhausting, yet it was also a testament to Danielle's strength and resilience. Family and friends played a crucial role in helping Danielle manage her fear. The Busbys were surrounded by a support network that offered practical help, encouragement, and emotional reassurance. Danielle often cites the comfort of knowing that they were not facing this journey alone. Every conversation with loved ones, every piece of advice, and every shared laugh helped to temper the anxiety and reminded her that while the pregnancy was unprecedented, she was not powerless. As the weeks progressed, Danielle became increasingly attuned to her body and the needs of her growing babies. She had to adjust her lifestyle in ways she had never imagined. Diet, rest, and physical activity all became matters of careful planning. She learned to listen to her body's signals, recognizing that the well-being of the quintuplets depended not just on medical intervention, but on her ability to maintain a healthy balance in her own life. This awareness transformed her approach to pregnancy, blending caution with a determination to nurture both herself and the babies. Despite the careful planning and preparation, Danielle never underestimated the magnitude of what lay ahead. She and Adam had to confront the reality that life with quintuplets would be unlike anything they had experienced. Sleep deprivation, logistical challenges, and the constant demands of 5 infants would test their patience, their relationship, and their endurance. Yet, Danielle's fear was always tempered by a sense of purpose, a recognition that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to nurture 5 new lives and to grow their family in ways that few ever experience. Throughout this journey, Danielle also became an advocate for awareness about the realities of high-order multiple pregnancies. She openly shares the fears, struggles, and triumphs she faced, helping others understand the physical, emotional, and logistical demands of carrying and raising multiples. Her transparency resonates with many, offering both comfort and education to families navigating similar experiences. By speaking candidly about her fears, she not only humanizes the experience, but also inspires resilience in others. As the pregnancy progressed into later stages, Danielle's initial fear evolved into a deeper sense of confidence and readiness. She had come to accept that while fear was a natural response, it did not define her journey. Instead, she focused on what she could control, preparing the home, organizing support systems, and building routines that would allow the family to thrive. Danielle's journey from terror to empowerment illustrates the incredible adaptability and strength of parents faced with extraordinary circumstances. The birth of the quintuplets marked the culmination of months of anticipation, planning, and emotional preparation. Danielle describes the moment she finally held all 5 babies as overwhelming yet indescribably joyful. The fears that had once consumed her gave way to awe and gratitude as she witnessed the tangible results of her perseverance and love. Each baby represented not just a new life, but a testament to the resilience and courage required to navigate such an unprecedented pregnancy. Even after the birth, Danielle's reflections on her experience continue to highlight the balance of fear and excitement that defined her journey. She acknowledges that being flat-out afraid was a natural and necessary part of the process, response that allowed her to plan meticulously, seek support, and ultimately embrace the challenges with open arms. Her story serves as a powerful reminder that fear does not have to be paralyzing. It can coexist with hope, preparation, and determination to create something truly extraordinary. In the years since the quintuplets' arrival, Danielle has shared insights into the daily realities of raising multiple children simultaneously. The Busby's life is undeniably hectic, filled with schedules, milestones, and endless tasks, but it is also rich with love, laughter, and unforgettable moments. Danielle often reflects on how the initial fear she felt has transformed into a profound appreciation for the family they have built. Each challenge overcome, each milestone celebrated, and each quiet moment of connection reinforces the notion that the journey, while daunting, has been immeasurably rewarding. Danielle's candid discussions about her fear and the realities of carrying quintuplets also highlight the importance of mental and emotional health. She has emphasized the role of open communication with her partner, the necessity of accepting help, and the value of self-compassion. By sharing these lessons, Danielle provides a blueprint for other parents navigating complex pregnancies or managing high-pressure parenting situations. Her story underscores that acknowledging fear is not a weakness, it is an essential part of the journey toward growth, resilience, and joy. Throughout interviews and public appearances, Danielle continues to inspire others with her honesty and strength. She does not shy away from discussing the difficulties she faced, nor does she downplay the emotional intensity of learning she was having quintuplets. Instead, she presents a balanced perspective, recognizing the fear, the uncertainty, and the challenges, while celebrating the extraordinary beauty of her unique family. Her openness fosters empathy and connection, allowing audiences to relate to her experiences on a human level. The Busby story, and Danielle's journey in particular, also illustrates the power of partnership. Adam's unwavering support, coupled with Danielle's determination and resilience, demonstrates that facing fear together can transform even the most daunting circumstances into opportunities for growth and triumph. Their shared commitment to their family, combined with practical strategies and emotional support, exemplifies how teamwork can help navigate life-altering challenges. Looking back, Danielle acknowledges that being flat out afraid was a natural and inevitable part of learning she was having quintuplets. That fear, rather than being a barrier, became a catalyst for preparation, reflection, and growth. It motivated her to seek guidance, plan meticulously, and embrace both the joys and challenges of a high-order multiple pregnancy. In hindsight, the fear that once seemed overwhelming is now a key part of the narrative, a reminder of how extraordinary and life-changing the experience truly was. Danielle Busby's story is not only one of fear and triumph, but also one of inspiration. It reminds parents everywhere that facing the unknown can be intimidating, yet with preparation, support, and resilience, even the most overwhelming news can lead to profound joy. Her journey from terror to empowerment, from disbelief to acceptance, and from fear to celebration embodies the complex and beautiful realities of parenthood at its most extraordinary. Her narrative continues to resonate with countless families around the world, especially those facing high-risk pregnancies or the prospect of raising multiples. Danielle's honesty provides a rare window into the emotional complexity of expecting quintuplets, the simultaneous awe, fear, and determination required to navigate such a unique and life-changing experience. She stands as a testament to the human capacity for adaptability, courage, and unconditional love. Through it all, Danielle never lost sight of the central truth. While the fear was real, it was never the whole story. The arrival of her quintuplets brought immeasurable joy, a deep sense of purpose, and a life filled with love that far outweighed the initial anxiety. Her story is a vivid reminder that the path to extraordinary experiences is rarely linear. It is filled with moments of doubt, fear, and challenge, but also moments of wonder, triumph, and unparalleled happiness. Danielle Busby's experience of learning she was having quintuplets is more than just a story about an extraordinary pregnancy. It is a narrative about confronting fear, embracing the unknown, and finding strength in the face of overwhelming circumstances. Her journey illustrates the power of preparation, the importance of support systems, and the enduring impact of love and resilience. Through her openness and authenticity, Danielle offers not only a glimpse into her personal life, but also a source of inspiration for anyone facing life-changing news, reminding us all that fear, when met with courage, can lead to the most incredible outcomes imaginable. Even after the initial shock faded, Danielle found herself navigating a new kind of reality, one where excitement and anxiety existed side by side, almost constantly. There were moments when she would catch herself daydreaming about the future, 5 little sets of hands reaching for her at once, 5 tiny voices calling her name, 5 separate personalities already beginning to form in her mind. And yet, that same imagination that sparked joy could just as quickly fuel worry. Danielle often wondered if she and Adam could truly keep up, if they could ever provide the attention, love, and care each child deserved. One of the hardest parts, she recalls, was coming to terms with the fact that this pregnancy was unlike anything she had experienced before. Every milestone felt amplified: the first ultrasound, the confirmation that all 5 babies were growing healthily, the news that preterm birth was a likely possibility. Danielle admits that, at times, she felt almost paralyzed by the sheer weight of responsibility. Even simple tasks, like preparing the home or picking out clothes for the babies, carried a level of complexity she had never imagined. Despite these challenges, Danielle also discovered an inner strength she hadn't fully realized existed. She found herself learning quickly how to manage both the physical demands of carrying multiples and the mental demands of anticipating the life changes to come. The fear that had initially seemed so paralyzing began to transform into motivation to plan, organize, and prepare in ways she had never needed before. Every appointment, every conversation with doctors, every step toward readiness became a small victory against the overwhelming uncertainty. Danielle also found comfort in the idea that she didn't have to do this alone. Adam was her constant partner, steadfast and supportive, sharing in both the joy and the worry. They leaned on each other in ways that strengthened their bond, turning fear into teamwork. Family, friends, and even experienced parents of multiples offer guidance and encouragement. Danielle often says that the support she received helped her maintain perspective, reminding her that while the journey was extraordinary, they had help along the way. One of the most surprising aspects of Danielle's experience was how quickly fear shifted to focus. She began to channel her energy into concrete preparations, organizing the nursery, researching sleep strategies for multiples, and learning about feeding and medical routines that would soon dominate their daily life. The mental checklist that once seemed overwhelming became a blueprint for navigating the next months. She learned to celebrate small accomplishments and recognize progress, which helped her cope with the bigger uncertainties that were still ahead. Danielle has spoken openly about the emotional roller coaster that accompanied this pregnancy. There were days filled with anticipation and hope, where she marveled at the miracle of life growing inside her. Then there were days clouded by concerns about premature birth, complications, or the ability to care for so many children at once. She says that acknowledging her fear, rather than pretending it didn't exist, was essential to managing it. Accepting that fear was a natural response allowed her to address it head-on and focus on solutions rather than being consumed by anxiety. The couple also faced practical challenges that required creativity and problem-solving. From managing medical appointments to planning for postpartum support, Danielle and Adam had to think ahead in ways that parents of a single child rarely do. They mapped out schedules, prepared for the unexpected, and built systems that could accommodate not just 1 or 2 infants, but 5. Danielle's fear became intertwined with determination, the understanding that preparation, rather than panic, was the key to success. As the pregnancy advanced, Danielle's perspective continued to evolve. She began to focus less on fear and more on anticipation for the personalities she would meet, the memories she would create, and the bond her children would share. She imagined chaotic mornings and bedtime routines, birthday parties, and family traditions. These visions, once overshadowed by worry, began to feel tangible, filling her with excitement and a sense of purpose. The birth itself, when it finally came, was a moment Danielle describes as life-changing. Holding all 5 babies for the first time was overwhelming, yes, but it also solidified the immense love and commitment that had carried her through months of anxiety. She recalls feeling both exhausted and exhilarated, aware of the monumental responsibility before her, yet deeply grateful for the family she had dreamed of. Every fear, every sleepless night, every anxious thought was suddenly framed in the context of a new reality, one filled with joy, love, and the challenges of parenting quintuplets. Danielle's story is not just about fear, but about resilience. She emphasizes that being flat-out afraid was not a weakness, it was a natural reaction to a life-altering moment. That fear became the catalyst for planning, for seeking support, and for mentally preparing for the journey ahead. Danielle turned fear into action, demonstrating the power of acknowledging emotions while refusing to be controlled by them. Even now, years later, Danielle reflects on that moment with a sense of perspective. The fear she felt remains part of her narrative, but it no longer defines her experience. She has seen the fruits of her preparation and perseverance in the thriving, vibrant family she and Adam now share. The challenges of raising quintuplets are ongoing, but Danielle approaches them with a combination of practicality, humor, and unconditional love. Her journey from shock to empowerment continues to inspire parents everywhere. Danielle's openness about her fears and challenges has also created a dialogue about the realities of high-order multiple pregnancies. She provides a voice for mothers who experience the same overwhelming mixture of excitement and anxiety. Through interviews, social media, and public appearances, she normalizes the fear, preparation, and eventual joy that accompanies such an extraordinary journey. Her story reassures other parents that while the road may be daunting, the outcome can be profoundly rewarding. In addition, Danielle highlights the importance of partnership and communication in facing monumental challenges. Her relationship with Adam serves as a model of teamwork, emphasizing that mutual support and shared responsibility are critical when navigating high-stakes parenting scenarios. They have learned to divide tasks, share emotional labor, and celebrate victories together, reinforcing the idea that collaboration transforms fear into manageable action. Ultimately, Danielle Busby's experience is a testament to human adaptability and courage. Being flat out afraid was simply the beginning of a journey that required careful thought, perseverance, and trust in herself and her support system. Her story illustrates that fear is a natural and even useful response to extraordinary news. It can motivate preparation, deepen connections, and foster resilience. Danielle's journey continues to resonate with families around the world. Her honesty, strength, and dedication provide a roadmap for navigating uncertainty, turning fear into action, and embracing the extraordinary. Her narrative reminds everyone that even the most daunting challenges can lead to the most remarkable experiences. Through it all, Danielle Busby demonstrates that courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act in spite of it, transforming anxiety into love, preparation into joy, and uncertainty into one of life's greatest adventures. The story of Danielle learning she was having quintuplets is ultimately about transformation. Fear gave way to anticipation. Anxiety gave way to preparation. Uncertainty gave way to confidence. Through it all, Danielle's honesty, resilience, and unwavering love for her family shine through, offering a powerful example of how to navigate life-changing news with courage and grace. Her journey teaches a universal lesson that even in moments of extreme fear, there is room for hope, planning, and growth. Danielle Busby's experience reminds us that extraordinary circumstances often reveal our deepest strengths, that love can conquer doubt, and that the most challenging paths can lead to the most rewarding destinations. And so, when Danielle looks back on the moment she first learned she was carrying quintuplets, she no longer sees only fear. She sees the start of a journey, one filled with challenges, yes, but also with unparalleled joy, unshakable love, and a family that is richer, fuller, and more extraordinary